Okay, welcome everybody to our Rules and Public Policy Committee meeting. I do apologize to everybody for not getting a written agenda out in time, but I did forward some meeting minutes that Erica was nice enough to keep the last meeting, and hoping that everybody had a chance to review those. Yay.
Actually, Matt, when you forwarded those, the minutes weren't actually attached. It's okay though. I will make sure we get those done.
So I don't have to feel guilty that I didn't read them because they're not there.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, there's no shame in not reading what you didn't get. So I do apologize to everybody about that. I even looked to make sure it is an attachment, so I don't know what happened. Sorry. Admittedly, I'm more of an Outlook person than Gmail. I do this kind of crap frequently with Gmail. So my apologies, everybody. So having said that, I don't know if anybody remembers, but last time we met, we talked about bringing in our folks from the Code Enforcement Department, and we did overhaul some of our our code in terms of actual ordinance regarding code enforcement with grass and penalties and things like that. So I kind of wanted to bring Mr. Knight in to do a follow-up after about a year of these changes to see if they've helped at all, or if there's other changes to legislation that he might recommend to help him do his work. Same thing with the building official. And after we're done with that, hopefully there might be enough time to at least address the ordinance. Mary Jo, did you get the ordinance that Mr. Graver sent? I forwarded it to everybody today.
I got the email. I have not had a chance to look at that either.
Okay. You might be able to just take a glance at it while we're talking. It's like we've done it before in the past. It's like the tax advance thing. So it'll look pretty familiar to you in terms of the kind of legislation it is. You probably have dealt with it more than both Erica and I since you've been on council longer.
Matt, just for your own information, Beth Hartman is here on the phone. For some reason, we can't see her and her link is not working. I'm not really sure why, but she can hear us. She just texted me to let me know that she can hear us. So I guess Beth is the other member of the committee.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome, Beth. You heard that. You don't have to respond. The dog will speak for you. Your advocate. So is Mr. Knight here? Is he able to talk to us?
Yes, I am right here. And also we have our code enforcement officer, Roger Neff, with us on board.
Well, cool, man. Well, cool, because I have not met Roger yet, and I don't know this is officially meeting, but I guess it's as good as can be. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, you handle all the code enforcement stuff, actually going around citing properties that are not maintaining.
Now, actually, we made a change in the latter part of last year. I got to where I was spread thin right there, and I brought Roger on board. He was previously one of my fire inspectors from the village of Evendale. Did a very good job for me there, and right now he's taking over code enforcement, and he's doing an outstanding job right there.
Oh, okay. So Roger's doing the code enforcement.
I'm doing the building and the zoning end of it right there, and he's doing the code enforcement.
Okay, so I had you guys backwards. So you're doing the building official work, and he's doing the code enforcement officer work. Correct?
That's correct.
Cool. All right, great. Well, I guess we'll take an introduction from Roger here in a minute. And, we didn't have you here, I guess, to, I kind of want to be a little bit judicious with time because we do have at least one other piece of business to get to. And just thanks, guys, for your service as always. But, you know, Bill, I think you'll have probably better insight in this, and I'm sure Roger might too, and maybe he can introduce himself and throw out what his thoughts are. But if you recall some of the changes we made to the code enforcement ordinances, just wondering how those have worked out. I know we shortened the grass length and a couple other penalty issues. I'm just wondering how they worked out, if they've made any impact, if there's other things we need to do or consider for legislative changes, whether it's about code enforcement or even building official work that you're doing. That would be great. So I'll just kind of open up the floor to you guys to discuss any needs that you foresee with legislation. And then if anybody on the committee has any questions, we'll kind of ask away and talk. And that's kind of what we had you here for today. Is that all right?
That's good. And like I said, I think Roger could give you a little bit better insight, but you know, we communicate quite a bit back and forth on a code enforcement. And I think a lot of this stuff right in here, I think abatement seemed to be the best avenue we've had right there, other than relying on the court. We've got a couple pending court cases I think Roger can bring you up to date on, kind of dragging right there. And I noticed some irritated people over on Meese with a camper right there, but the guy's been cited to court 3 times, and I think it's still pending right there, and we're still trying to get that cleaned up. And maybe abatement might be the way to handle that right there. Basically, you know, the guy's got a camper parked in his driveway, creating quite a stir on that area. Maybe we'll just get a record service and tow that camper off and bill an individual for the work right there. And we've
Sorry,
done
Mr. Knight, can you repeat what that address was?
Roger would have that. You on board, Roger?
Erica, do you want to just record it
Yeah.
as the street of me? It's MEIS.
What was the address on the Meese with a camper?
I believe it was 6536.
And in addition to that incident right there, we've had 2 major cleanups on property this year. One was on Norman right there specifically, where Public Works actually had to go out and rent dumpsters and bobcats. And I think we have close to $12,000 in assessments on that property right in there. And, you know, it's sometimes it's, you know, we're eventually going to get the money back. But I think I think everybody's goal was to get the issue abated right there quicker, opposed to dragging it out in court for 3 or 4 months. But you know, we will get that money back next year. But you know, we've spent over $12,000. That's just on 2 properties cleaning them up this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the neighbors appreciated that, though, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the places were really bad. I mean, when you have to actually go in and get a dumpster and a bobcat to haul the stuff out, that's pretty severe.
No doubt.
Mr. Knight, what was the one address was on Norman Avenue. Where was the second one?
Second one was
Norman. There's one on Norman.
you had Norman, then we had the other one on it's off of Biding. I have to apologize. I'm kind of
Noble.
That's it. Noble. We had a major cleanup on that. And the place was just overrun with unbelievable junk and trash in the yard right there.
Bill, when you talked about abatement, I mean, I know we're allowed to go in and cut grass and clean up trash and things like that, put an assessment on the property tax. I mean, we've been doing that for a really long time, but towing a camper, is that something we're able to do?
Well, actually, the property maintenance code allows us to abate any issue or any violation in that code right there.
And then what process does the landowner have to challenge, like, let's say their car being towed or their camper being towed?
Well, here again, let's say the gentleman was served with 2 separate notices and 3 separate citations. I think the next step, if we decide, and I work with the city administration, Mr. Mosby, if you approve that, we will give him 1 more notice right there. You have a week to take care of this camper, or we're going to move it for you.
Is there like an opportunity to like challenge the citation before that abatement happens?
He does have initially has a chance to challenge that, but that time is since passed right there. He's lost that time for an appeal.
Okay. I was just asking about the process. I was just generally curious. So in your opinion, does that work the way it's written?
Yes, it is. I think it works very well. That's this part of the International Property Maintenance Code.
Okay. Well, that's neat. Well, yeah, obviously that's, a call for Mr. Mosby to make. I mean, he's the administration, right? We make the laws. I guess they make some of those decisions.
Right. And he controls the budget. So, and here again, like I said, I realize, I think all the municipalities been hit kind of hard this year with this COVID deal. And Roger and I both, and my company Expex, we're very open to that and sensitive to it. And we try to stay within their budget right there.
Well, we appreciate that. So what do you think is I generally, I've heard less complaining about property maintenance, it seems like, this year than most years. I mean, maybe I'm just not paying attention, but it seems like things are going well.
The thing is, I said, Roger's in 3 days a week. What are you in total of 16, 18 hours, Roger?
Yeah, I do 3 7-hour shifts. 21.
And there again, like I said, I know firsthand, and I feel for Roger because I know what he's going through firsthand. Between the grass and the trash and the junk cars, he is just doing nothing but reactive code enforcement, and we have a whole lot of room for improvement. But to stay within budget, we're not be able to do it this year. So,
What do you mean by improvement, Bill?
If the budget got a little bit better, say for next year, what I'd like to see eventually Roger to do, because he's going to 3 days a week and he's hopping over to town chasing complaints and on the trash, grass, and junk cars, just have 1 day, no complaints, no grass, no nothing, where you can go out and do a systematic, proactive property maintenance. I see it when I'm out doing inspections right there. These houses need to be painted. And we have a whole series of 1-car garages on these alleys that actually need to be either fixed up or torn down. I started on it a couple of years ago, and we just ran out of time on this thing right in there, and it just time and money, basically. I know some of these garages, they need to go. They're real bad.
You mean like detached garages that are collapsing and things like that? Is that what you're
That's
saying?
correct. Yeah, some of them, the roofs are actually gone on these buildings. Doors are falling off of them, and they need a lot of attention right there.
Okay. Do you gentlemen have anything else you'd like to share or ask us?
No, I think we've made some improvements, and like especially on the rental property. When we first took over the rental property for the police department, we used JJ's list right there, and that's what we've been operating on. And I was looking at the census on the online, and it appeared that we were about 400 to 500 homes, rental properties short on our list. So Diane went through street by street by street, and she's developed a new list. I think we were somewhere in the neighborhood of about, we had a list of 700, and we have now a list of over 1,000 properties that are being used for rental, and majority of them have not been paying rental registration on that. And I think we will see a big improvement on the intake on this next year. And I know I presented, I think back in May, we had an update to our rental property registration, and the way it was written, it appears that we do not include residential. So Mr. Mosby, I think he has that law committee right there to to add that amendment to, we bring it back to residential property so we can get this thing up and running the first of the year.
Okay, and thanks for sharing that. Do any of the committee members have any questions for Bill or Roger? No?
That's good.
That is good. That is good. I mean, generally speaking, I know that our numbers have gone up on citations and things like that over the last few years. So do appreciate the hard work. And I guess if no one has any questions
Oh,
for
wait,
you.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I was like, why is nobody listening?
Okay.
So, Mr. Knight, you were talking about, and I was taking notes when I was kind of listening, but I guess I missed something. You said that you'd taken over the rental property list from the police department. I missed part of what you said. Can you just kind of repeat that?
Okay, previously what had happened, John Fulmer, he worked actually under the police department. He previously did code enforcement, and they did the rental property registration through Mr. Fulmer. And then in 2018, we took it over in the building department right there.
Okay. So is there a formal list or a formal way to keep track of all of the rental properties, or you guys just have to kind of figure out which ones are rental properties and which ones are not?
Right now, I said, Diane did a great job on updating our list right there. And I said, I think we picked up about 300 or 400 properties right there. And each year we send out letters to each and every one of these folks right in there. And they have 30 days to get that the rental registration into us. If not, we actually will assess that property right there and add on another $150 for administration fee for having to do this to cover our cost.
Okay.
I think last year we ended up for 2020, we ended up assessing 154 properties. That's a total of $30,000 we assessed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it'd be nice if that's not the way you want to make money though, right?
No, it's not. I wish the people would just get it in there, but sometimes, I think over the years, it's just, some of them felt like, I'm not going to pay this. Well, now, usually about June, when they start getting their tax bills in January and June, that's when they see that extra $200 for assessment on there. Then they want to question why. And these people have owned properties for 6 and 8 and 10 years in the city. Well, here's why: because you didn't register your rental property.
So the assessments are added to the property tax bill, actually?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Erica,
So
that's
they make sure they get paid.
yeah, if you notice, like we do that once a month or so. Every couple months we pass an ordinance that has those tax assessments. We kind of do them in bundles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all that the grass cutting. I think this year we did raise our cutting fees. We kind of analyzed the cost for public works and Roger's time and my time on administrating the system right there. And we only had to, which I think is down probably about at least a half. We only had, so far to date, we've assessed 54 properties. That's $18,000 in grass cutting fees, between grass cutting and administration fees. Yeah, I think grass cutting was down way low this year compared to the previous years. I think it's because we raised that fee.
Good. It's good. Anybody else have a question for Mr. Knight or Roger? No?
I have a question. I'm sorry. I've been having computer issues. So I've been going in and out. So I apologize if you've already covered this. And if you have, just say so and I'll watch the movie later. But can you just that from a 30,000 foot level, and I guess this is more to Roger, help me understand what your process is. Do you mainly address issues that are presented to you? I see you driving around every now and then.
Right.
So what's your goal when you're driving around? What's happening there?
Well, I have my complaints that I do in the morning, and then I make my list. Complaints come in on the phone, and then I bring up my re-inspections, which everything that is due that on that particular date. So I do my re-inspections of the property code violations or the grass, and then I do all that. Try to get around the area. Now I'm doing in quadrants, like the southwest quadrant. I was in there today, and I had some issues down there, and then I was able to go back up to another quadrant and take care of a complaint. But yeah, I'm assigned to the quadrants. I'm focusing now on the alleys, trying to get those alleys cleaned up. I've done several citations, which have gone well, because before the court date, the individuals make their corrections before that court date. So the citation tool has been a great asset in making the corrections that we need.
So I'm going to back up a little bit. So do you aggressively look for violations when you're out cruising, or are you more addressing complaints that have already come in by other individuals?
Well, I'm trying to do both. I mean, I have to do the complaints, and then after that, I will, because the complaints and the re-inspections are a priority. But yes, I mean, I'm trying to multitask, do 3 things at one time. Yeah.
And drive and take notes.
Yeah, and drive and write things down. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to get you a little tape recorder that you can just talk into. While
That is correct, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else?
You
Going one?
can't see me shaking my head, I guess. No.
Okay. Going twice? Anybody? Nobody? All right. Well, Mr. Knight, Mr. Neff, thanks for coming. Thanks for the service. Appreciate the report. Sorry to take you away from your families on a Monday evening. We do appreciate you coming in to answer our questions and give us our information. If any reason, we don't have to wait until next year or something like that. If something comes up where you feel like something needs tinkered with in an ordinance or something like that, or have an idea, don't be afraid to reach out to us or have Ron reach out to us and let us know. I mean, it's legislation shouldn't happen in a vacuum. That's my opinion. I mean, we kind of need to know from you guys if there's anything that needs updated. We're not necessarily going to think of it ourselves. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Have a great evening, everybody.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Mary Jo, are you able to look at that ordinance?
Yeah, I have. It's pretty standard, pretty cut and dry.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's nothing we haven't done a gazillion times. So, having said that, I mean, I don't know how much discussion we should or should not have about it. What do you think?
I don't need to discuss it. I think it's pretty straightforward, pretty routine.
Yeah, I feel like
my only question would be, why is it in this committee and not in finance, since it's for taxes? But I don't really even care about that. Just let's get it on the agenda.
Yeah, I agree. Unless, Erica, do you have any questions or concerns about it? I mean, we've done this like every year I've been on council, so I mean, I'm inclined to just shoot it onto the agenda for the next meeting.
It looks pretty standard. So yeah, it looks fine to me.
Okay, we shall give it committee blessing and push it back out onto the agenda then. Okay, well, great. I kind of thought that the matter with Bill and Roger would go a bit longer than that, but I guess it didn't. So I mean, I didn't have any other plans for tonight unless somebody else has something they want to talk about or address.
I sent you an email.
You did?
I did.
Let me
And
know.
I even talked about it in the committee meeting, in a council meeting. Holy moly.
Oh, you're talking about the onboarding process for new
Oh.
people?
I know you don't want to do it, which is why you just put it in the back of your head.
So Mary Jo, I asked Matt if he cares, if he wants to be the committee chair for this committee. I think I asked you when you were first trying to join at the very beginning. I am interested in being the chair. Are you interested in being the chair, Mary Jo?
Me?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Matt said he wasn't either. So if you guys are not interested, I am interested. So I will step up.
For
So,
your crown.
Grand Poobah.
yeah.
No, and you know, I guess regarding the onboarding process, probably should just use Marjorie and Erica. I mean, you're obviously the two newest council members. Just kind of a little checklist of what they'd like to know or what they feel like they would need, right?
My whole point was to actually have something in writing that's just handed down, because I feel like when I think of something, I send Marjorie an email and say, hey, you got to do this. Like, for not necessarily for Erica, but for someone like Marjorie, who's, and I don't think I'm offending her by calling her this, but I think she's really green. So she would need to really take the sunshine laws.
I was green.
You're a lawyer. I mean, you have.
I was green.
Okay, I wasn't trying to offend you. Please, I was trying to give you props.
He wants to be green too. Let her be green.
Right, you're green. You're green. But I just think some people are more green than others. How's that? Different. Some are seafoam green and some are olive green. How's that?
Yeah, they're fair.
Now I'm getting into the matte artist kind of realm. But I really feel like she should probably take the sunshine law class herself versus the clerk taking it in her place, which is I know she's allowed to do. But
I never got to take that class. I think it was canceled because of COVID. So we probably need to figure out, they've got to have some kind of virtual class that's available.
They do. Because I think Matt Waller took it.
Okay, so
did you look at it all?
I haven't. We probably need to just kind of figure out when that is. But I remember going to the new council members class, and that was very informative. I really appreciated that. So that's certainly something. Also, I would suggest just, giving them a binder with all of the ordinances and the resolutions, as well as the agendas and meeting minutes from the current council year where they're joining. That way they can just go back and review the hard copies of that in one place. And then once I actually get Mr. Mosby to sit down with me so we can figure out a way to scan all of those other documents in, because my hope is to have, you can't hear me? Matt, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm listening.
Oh, okay, Mary Jo can't hear me. I just want to, I can say something. Say something. Say something. No, I can't hear you.
I know earlier she said she was going in and out.
Yeah,
so
she said she was going to log out and log back in. I just want to have some kind of thing where we can, instead of having like Google Documents where, you know, when somebody leaves, we lose the documents. I want to have something where we're scanning. Can you hear me now, Mary Jo? Okay. I want to have like some kind of process where we're actually scanning documents into a database and give everybody access to that instead of the Google Documents thing. Because I think Google Documents, the flaw is that the person who creates the document, if that once that person is gone, then you know you have to go back and reopen that person's, which Mr. Mosby was able to do, but we shouldn't have to do that every time. So I just think that that's the flaw with Google Documents, maybe. So as soon as I can get Mr. Mosby to sit still long enough to meet with me, we'll get that figured out. Oh, you can't hear me again? Oh, she lost audio again. Beth, can you still hear me? I know you were there. Yes. Beth? Matt, I think it's just me and you for right now. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Mary Jo's back. Mary Jo, can you hear me now? Oh, Beth can hear me. So Beth, she can hear us. I guess she just can't. We got to figure out why her video is not working too. That's not, she's got to be able to interact.
Yeah.
You know what? Ever since we switched to this new format, we've been having a lot of more issues, I think. Do you think that that's what the problem is that this format instead of the other one?
Mine keeps, I get a little pop-up that says that I've moved to my phone for audio. Well, I've never used my phone for this, so I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Drew, are you listening? Do you know why that's happening?
I do not. That's very weird that it's connecting to your phone. I'm not sure.
I mean, it doesn't even have my phone number. I've never used my cell phone for this.
Yeah, that's really weird. I also don't see Beth on the list.
I don't either.
She can hear us. She says she can hear us. She just texted me like literally 2 minutes ago saying she can hear us.
Okay. Is she, maybe she's just watching the stream possibly?
That could be. I don't know whether she just didn't receive a link or what.
I saw her in as an attendee before instead of a panelist.
Oh, okay.
And that's why she could only hear us.
I did see her there earlier, yeah, but I don't see her there now.
Yeah, she just, I just heard her. That's her.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm trying it again. Sorry.
I can't hear you, Mary Jo. No, I can't hear you. Yeah, we gotta figure this stuff out, huh?
It seemed that when we could hear Beth talking, it seemed like it had showed the that the sound was coming from Mary Jo's audio. So maybe like somehow they're connecting together.
Oh, wow, that's weird. That's probably exactly what's happening. Wow. So
Not
Mary
sure.
Jo, Drew's theory is that somehow Beth's phone and your computer are connecting some kind of way.
Because I sent her my link to log in.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Can you send her a different link, Drew? Do you have that?
Yeah, I can tell my boss because I don't send out the emails, but I'll tell my boss to send one to her.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
But I've sent it to people before and it's never done that. So that's why it's saying the phone, because she's
Right.
calling it.
Because when she logs in, then it cuts off your audio. Okay. Look, we figured it. We figured it out. Look at us.
We're so tech savvy.
Need to provide.
Okay, can you hear me now? I want to get this out before she tries to connect again.
Yes.
And kicks me out. So the other thing I wanted to do is to make sure there's a copy of the charter and council rules in that binder.
Make sure makes sense. Okay.
What else do you think we should have in the
Okay.
binder?
So yeah, council rules, charter, all of the agendas from that year, all of the meeting minutes from that year.
Ordinances and resolutions.
Ordinances and resolutions, yes. And then that way, I think that will be a good kind of foundation.
So then what about the housekeeping stuff? So that would be like setting up email accounts.
Email accounts, business cards. I still haven't been able to get Mr. Mosby still enough for as far as letterhead. I think that just to send everybody digital letterhead so everybody can, if you want to send a letter out, you should be able to. But I think it should be something digital. Like I said, I just haven't been able to get him in one place to make that happen. Make sure
What did you
that
have to do to get your your banking account? What did you have to do for that?
my what?
For the banking for pay? Did you have to meet with?
I just had to fill out forms with Mr. Mosby. No, I didn't. It wasn't Mosby. It was the lady in the other office over there. There was just a form that I had to fill out.
Stephanie?
I don't know her name. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not good with names, but I know she's a lady in the office across the hall from the administration's offices. That was the tax office, but now I'm not sure what goes on in there now. So she was in there.
All right. What else did you have to do?
Just know where the mailboxes are and the filing cabinet, which is a nightmare, by the way. We got to figure something out with that. No, to get the key, we have to get the key to the front door. She needs to go down and see I guess that's Mr. Knight.
Nope.
No,
Cole.
not Mr. Knight.
Cole.
Mr. Cole. Okay. I just know the guy down the hall.
That's a well-traveled hall, isn't it?
Yes. And then there's another guy across the hall from him, the tech guy. Oh, you can't hear me now. Uh-oh. Beth can hear me though. Are you there, Beth? Need to provide a list of new members. Brainstorm. Determine that new members.
I'm back.
Yeah.
What did I miss? What else did you say?
Actually, Beth has texted me. She said, I've been kicked off 6 times now. Just go on, I'll keep trying. But every time she gets connected, then it kicks you, it like mutes you.
Will you tell her that Drew's going to send her a brand new email and stop trying to use that one? Please.
Mary. Oh goodness. I don't text very fast.
So I think if she tries to join as an attendee again, I should be able to promote her to a panelist. I tried to do that before, but I think there was like some connection problems.
The problem is, Drew, is that she's clicking on Mary Jo's link and it's connecting her to Mary Jo's computer some kind of way. And so
right. But does she have an old
Yeah, the very first one that she tried to log in with, tell her to
Yeah.
try that. The very
Yeah.
first number she tried, instead of the link that I sent her.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, because that'll be the same link that will be sent to her if she gets emailed. That's what my boss told me.
Who said he will promote you. Okay. All right. Technology.
Talk about technology. If you check your email, you just got an email with letterhead from Mr. Mosby.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay.
He must be listening because he just
Yay. Okay. Well, look at that. Ask and you shall receive.
How
Okay.
expeditious is that?
I'd like a
Awesome.
Mercedes Benz, preferably
color?
white, 2-door convertible. You can just park it in the driveway if you like.
Or you'll even go get it. I'll drive you to go get it if it's.
There we go. I have a ride to go pick it up if you like.
Yeah.
And you don't get anything in return. It's just a gift. That's it. I'm sorry. I got nothing.
Clearly, you have connections. All right.
Okay, so who will create these binders? Like who will be responsible for that? Okay, yeah, well, we're
At the risk of volunteering someone. I mean, most of it is going to be standard. Yes. The only thing that's going to be like needing to be current would be the ordinances, resolutions, and agendas and minutes. But as far as the charter council rules, I mean, that's all standard.
And there should be some kind of like little checklist at the beginning, like make sure you get your email and your key. Your mailbox has your mail, know where your mailbox is. Trying to think of what else. Your email, the email login, make sure that's done. Oh, that's why you were saying you couldn't hear me. To go to the tech person to be able to log into the email, and to sign the information to make sure her direct deposit or his or her direct deposit is set up. Beth, was there anything else that you can think of that you did when you first joined council? Okay, we lost her. She was there just a second ago, though.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll put this stuff together and I'll send it to this committee, and we can still toss it around a little bit.
Okay.
And see what's missing.
And if need be, we'll just own it, and we'll just, as I mean, it doesn't happen very often, so I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
But I feel like this word of mouth thing that's happening is there's danger involved in that. Absolutely.
I agree. Because yes, subject to interpretation.
Yes. Yeah. And I hate that because I interpret funny.
Yes, we all do. Binders with binders. Are you there? I see your number. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can see your phone number there on the screen though.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yay. What did you have to do when you first joined council? If you can remember?
I ran around asking everybody individually for all the information I needed. That was fun. Oh, I just went to the office and got my direct deposit stuff taken care of. It's just an easy form to fill out. I don't know. The email stuff, that all kind of came across on your phone pretty easily. I can't remember. What else is there to do?
Okay. All right. I think we're okay. And Beth, I guess you are a member of this committee now, right?
I've always been a member of the two on this day.
Okay. Okay, but you're also a member of the budget committee, is that right?
Yeah, I guess since we lost some people, like I had to.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's on. But okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. I was like totally confused. Okay, that makes sense. All righty. Well, Matt, are you still there? Is there something else that you wanted to talk about?
I am still here, and no, there's not. I mean, I think that's good. I'm going to need
Okay,
a couple
so-
of minutes before the next meeting.
Yes, me too.
Anyways, just to pour a
Okay.
cup of coffee and use the restroom.
Okay, that sounds good. It looks like, okay, I don't want to hijack your meeting. I think we're all done though.
Hey, it's your meeting now. You volunteered. You own it.
Okay, so I think that I will make sure to send the meeting minutes to everyone from tonight's meeting. And at the next council meeting, I'm going to, unless somebody objects or wants to be the chair instead of me, I will volunteer to be the chair for this committee.
Is Matt still going to be the vice?
Yes.
Okay.
He just said he didn't want to be the chair.
Yeah, I think I'm technically the vice of public safety too, aren't I not?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Beth is the vice for public safety.
Okay, cool. Either way. Yep, no, do what you need me to do. And thanks for taking it up.
Okay, no worries. Okay, I guess we are adjourned and until 7:30, and I think that we don't get like a new screen put up. I think we just kind of black our screens out until 7:30, and then we'll start the public safety committee meeting.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks
All
all.
right, thanks.
For the record, I'm back if anybody else is.
I'm still here. I'm just waiting for 7:30.
Yeah, I decided to log out. I needed to get pumpkin coffee because it's fall.
I don't really like pumpkin.
Man, I'm not overly ashamed to admit that I dig the whole pumpkin thing in fall time.
I used to eat the seeds when I was a kid, but I don't know what happened. I don't really like it anymore.
I mean, really, it's just cinnamon and nutmeg and allspice. I guess it's just the seasonings, like spice cake or whatever. I like all that crap. Carrot cake, spice cake, pumpkin
I like
pie.
carrot cake. Carrot cake is delicious.
Some of the same seasons. All right, this can't work for me. I'll take Joffrey, I guess. Come on. You guys need to be separate. Come on. Like dog hoarding.
At least your dog's not barking and all loud and sounding all angry like my dog does.
Your dog
man.
sounds intimidating.
I know. Anybody knocks on your door. My one does sound like that. He just doesn't bark often. When he does, it's the same sound. He's big dogs. So they're better than alarms, if you ask me.
Yeah, very true.
So Eric, are you still going to stay chair of this one, public safety?
Yes.
Ooh, girl, go for it.
I just didn't want to be any chair or anything of that other one.
All right.
It's nice to have them on the same day,
Yes, for sure.
You do and you do them an hour and 2 hours, and that's it. And you have that one Monday off a month.
Well, I'm on the budget committee because I'm interested in that, but I think I might get off of the other committee because I'm like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I was on finance for a little bit, and you got to know your strengths and weaknesses. I'm just not a money person, so.
Me either, but I'm definitely I'm trying to understand it. So Drew, that screen is still up. Can you like make it so that we can see each other? Oh, there we are. I guess we're ready to go. Drew, is it okay if I send Tracy Nichols my link, or does she need to get a different link?
She probably needs her own, I would think.
Okay, can you send her one?
Yes. Was she on like the original list?
No, she says she didn't get a link at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to figure that out.
Thank you. Okay, so did everyone get the meeting minutes for the Public Safety Committee meeting? Wait, let me make sure I am not muted. But I
Yeah,
can't
I got
see.
it today. I got it today.
Okay, I was just about to say, does anybody have any changes or corrections to the meeting minutes?
No.
Oh,
Okay, so I've also sent our agenda. And so with regard to the fire department, I know that there was actually a fire in North College Hill. I don't really have any information about that. Does anybody have any information?
the one on Sterling,
Yes, that one. Okay.
1700 block of Sterling. What kind of information are you looking for?
I just wanted to know if, if we have any information about, what might have started it or something like that. Of course, I haven't reached out to the fire, the fire chief. I'm sure he would provide that for me. I just wanted to know if anybody knew anything about it.
I only know that Sterling is not very far from my house, and I saw the Elmwood Place Fire Department, I guess, after the fire was over, they came down my street. So
Okay.
I'm assuming that there was more than one jurisdiction responded to that. That's my speculation.
Okay.
Eric, is there any chance you're going to turn your video back on?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot because I started typing and my document always blocks my screen. So I can't see my face there. Sorry.
Hey, by the way, I think you can send her your link. I believe there's like 2 links, and one of them should be the one where they can join as an attendee, and then I'll promote her to be a
Okay.
patron.
Okay, well, let me do that really quickly. Let's see, reminder.
Isn't sushi just raw fish and rice?
Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So hopefully she can get on with that. I just sent it to her. It's fun. I don't have any more information about the fire department. Does anybody know what the status is of the contracts for the part-time firefighters?
I do not.
I do not either. I thought they were in the holding pattern until we had something nailed down from the FOP and from, what's another one? What's another union? Asked me. I thought we were going to work out something with those two prior to the negotiations with the fire, but I could be.
Oh my God.
Beth, you all right?
Yeah, my dog just farted.
Thank you for that play-by-play.
That is always the worst, but yeah, okay. Okay, so does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about with regard to the fire department?
I do.
Oh, okay.
So maybe everyone knew this but me, but I saw a post on social media that if you go to the city's website and find the fire department page and you scroll down to the very bottom of the fire department page, you can see the last 4, they call it the North College Hill FD recent alarms. So the last 4 runs that they went on is listed on there.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so, and I don't know what this one means. So there's a CAD message that came 10.3 hours ago. And then there was a sick person at the Liberty Dialysis Center on Goodman 6.4 hours ago. A psychiatric emergency on Carroll, and an unconscious person on Foxwood. So
Wow.
it tells you what the call was, and then it updates with the time and then the location. It's kind of cool.
Okay, so you said you go to the website and then go all the way to the bottom?
Are you on the fire page?
No, I haven't gotten that far yet. Go to the North College Hill website and then go where?
Let me get back to the beginning. So I went to services
Okay,
at the top,
okay.
and then did that go to services?
Okay, and then emergency services, fire department?
Yes, thank you. Emergency services, fire department, and then just scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the page.
Wow,
There's a little box.
I see that. That is kind of great.
It
Okay.
is. So because I work from home right now, and you hear lots of sirens at certain times, you think, I wonder what's going on. Is it something I need to be aware of? Well, if the FD is responding, you'll know what it is. Because like that, the fire on Sterling is right out my back door.
Right.
So I heard all the sirens and I thought, what on earth is going on? And so I saw. That was kind of nice. At the risk of being Mrs. Kravitz, I kind of like it.
I like that too. I did not, and no, I was not aware of that. Very cool.
And only some people are going to understand the Mrs. Kravitz joke. So there.
I understood it. I really like that show, and I'm definitely aging myself there, but I don't care.
All right. So that's all I have about the fire department.
Okay. With regard to the police department, I have not received a report, so I don't have any information about the police department. Does anybody else have any information, questions, comments, concerns?
I do not.
Okay. On to the speed hump proposal. Did anyone have an opportunity to review that? What do we want to do with the speed hump proposal?
Erica, I thought we discussed just naming a few like not gonna happen streets and then opening it up thereafter.
Okay.
Should we review the not going to happen streets? We can name some right off the bat without even discussing it. That would be Hamilton, Galbraith, probably Simpson.
I'd probably want, the administration to weigh in just on behalf of, the fire department or anybody over there that has some serious concerns. I mean, we only know what we know.
Well, sure, but I mean, we could start our list, can't we?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I didn't disagree with anything that just came out of anybody's mouth. Simpson, Galbraith, and Hamilton would be certainly on my list of probably nots.
Galbraith. Okay, just Simpson, Galbraith, and Hamilton. What about Clover Nook? Remember, I can't see you guys because my document is right there in front of
I
my
was
face.
thinking, Clover Nook, I guess that is like a 3 road. I guess that's probably some of the streets we really need to think about are, the ones that are kind of like those access roads to certain neighborhoods and whether or not we'd really want speed bumps. into those, but I would think like Oak Knoll might be one we need to think about, and Savannah, as well as Simpson, and Clover Nook's a good example. And then trying to think.
Are you still on the restricted list?
Yeah.
We're just kind of, I think, brainstorming to see like what streets, we would want to discuss. And we probably, I think Mr. Miller Novak was right. We probably want to discuss with administration to try to figure out like if there's any streets that they use quite a bit, that the fire department uses for through streets. Because I think that's what their concern was that speed humps would cause damage to like the fire trucks and the ambulances. But if nobody goes down, I don't know, Mary Jo, I don't know if your street is a cul-de-sac or not, but if nobody really goes down your street, if the fire department isn't going down your street, then your street would be okay for speed humps, right?
I live at a 90-degree turn, and I think the object is to see how fast you can take that. And there is a stop sign, but I think the object is to see how fast you can take it without getting on two wheels.
No. Stop signs appear to be optional around here. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah.
And my street is absolutely a cut through.
Oh, okay. Okay, so maybe I will follow up with Mr. Mosby on that. Did Mayor Nichols was she able to connect to the meeting? No. Okay. Wonder if I can move.
I'm sorry, I walked away. What was your question?
Oh. Just what did you have like some information about like streets that we would not absolutely could not include in a speed hump, for speed hump purposes?
To be honest, I was under the impression when I think about speed humps, I think about residential streets,
right?
Not any of the main streets. So I wouldn't put it on Galbraith, Hamilton. I wouldn't probably. The only street I would possibly consider may be Leboido or Simpson, those type of cut throughs. Maybe Maryland, Center Ridge. Clover Knoll, I wouldn't put it on. I would consider Bising because of the school district. Maybe not Clover Nook.
That's exactly what we were saying.
Yeah, not any of those main streets. I don't even know that I would put one on Savannah or Betts because it's so congested there already, especially on Betts.
Although Betts is the street where the little boy got hit.
Yeah.
And that was really the catalyst to start to kick this idea off.
I think that one of the issues or one of the things that they asked for on that street was a 4-way stop sign at that intersection. But
as we've discussed, that stop signs are optional apparently in North College Hill.
The big difference,
that's how they're interpreted anyhow.
The big difference between Betts and Simpson is somewhat significant, though, if you think about it, because Simpson's on the very edge of the Southwest District, number one, and then number two, I don't think we'd want to put them on Simpson because it's like on the Hamilton County bus line. I mean, that's just me. I mean, that's where one of the Hamilton County, that's one of the metro buses comes up Simpson. That's where the stop is. And then Betts, I mean, if I was going to put one in that quadrant, I think I'd almost pick Betts because it's an access road that's used a lot, kind of like Savannah, but it doesn't have, I think there's a stop sign, at Goodman, and there's a stop sign on Sundale. and Sterling. And before and after you get to those areas, it's pretty much a free for all.
Okay, so maybe what we need to do is just kind of, I think I got a list of streets from Miss Zorb. So maybe I can look at those streets and we can figure out like how to, and maybe get the legislation written. I think that Mr. Hedger, before he left, had requested that Mr. Dieters draft something for us. Does anybody know whether that ever happened? I will follow up with Mr. Dieters about that.
I'd guess it probably hasn't. I don't know. We gave much of a clear directive,
Okay,
to be fair.
okay, maybe we need to come up with a clear directive before we follow up then.
It looks like there is legislation in the email that Mr. Hedger sent us on August the 11th. Hold on a second, I'm opening that document. There is a piece of legislation in that. Does everyone still have that?
What is the date of the email?
I think I said August 11th. I'm waiting for it. Yes. August the 11th. The subject line was NCH Speed Hump Program. So there's two documents in that email. One is the guidelines for the Speed Hump Program, and the other one is the actual legislation, the resolution. And it was sent to this committee. So
Okay.
everyone that's on this call should have it.
Okay. So maybe what we should do is review that before the next meeting, and then at the next meeting, we can send it out of committee to council agenda.
Yeah, I think the biggest hiccup was the, and I lost the email again, but the guidelines, I think we need to fine tune the guidelines before we put it out.
Okay.
If my memory serves me, I think that's where we are.
Okay. So maybe at the next meeting, we'll just focus on working on the speed hump proposal so we can get one thing done. And and then we can refer that piece of legislation to the council agenda for, I guess it would be for December's meeting, because our next meeting is at the end of November. Does that sound okay with everybody?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda, I have the mayor's task force update. We have a meeting this week and on Wednesday. And I will let you all know what comes out of that meeting at our next committee meeting.
Is this fire?
Fire task force, yes. Then the next on the agenda is the police task force. I thought we could just wait until after the election. I just think that we already have the resolution in place that we can create it. I just think that there's just a lot of inflammatory everything going on. I just don't want it to be politicized. I just want it to be a fair and accurate kind of discussion. So I'd like to start that after November 3rd, which I know is next week. So is that okay with everybody? Does anybody have any questions or information or comments, concerns.
I think that's probably an excellent idea.
Okay, our old business is, still with the document formats. I think I haven't met with Mr. Mosby yet. However, what I've come up with is, I think the easiest thing would be for us to scan them into a database, not necessarily using Google Docs or anything that's going to limit our access after the document is created. So I just don't know like what the city has available with regard to some kind of a database that we can use that everybody would have access to. It should, obviously if you're it should just be something where we could just scan it in and then the documents are put in there, but they cannot be changed or edited or anything like that. Does that make sense?
So, Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
And I'm going to show my ignorance here. The company that I work for, we put shared documents on something called OneDrive. But I don't know if that's a Microsoft product. Does anybody know that?
It is Microsoft. It's just
Is it?
a cloud that comes with any, like your Microsoft. You probably have OneDrive on your phone if you install Microsoft Outlook, and if your company uses it, then that's kind of like their cloud drive.
Okay, thank you. Then we don't have the Microsoft suite at the city, so that wouldn't be.
No, because we use, technically our email goes through Gmail the same way that your company's email probably uses Outlook.
Yes.
So maybe we could.
I was just trying to find a separate repository for us.
I agree. I think it needs to be some kind of cloud-based thing like that, Mary Jo. I think that that's actually the best thing to do. Like, just scan the documents into whatever that cloud-based service is. That way they're there and they won't disappear if a council member leaves. So, Google Docs is just, that's the fatal flaw.
And we can set up a file structure that says templates for ordinances, templates for, whatever.
Absolutely.
Right? And just have a template folder out there. And
I'm sure that there's other cloud-based services other than OneDrive, but I use OneDrive as well, and I like it a lot because I can access it from anywhere. Right.
Yep. Yeah, so, it's here on my phone, it's on my laptop, it's on my iPad, it's everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. I'm sure there's another resource out there somewhere. Hey,
Absolutely.
What about Dropbox? What do you know about Dropbox?
I've heard of it. I don't really understand how it works.
Okay. I don't either. I've never used it.
I will discuss that with Mr. Mosby. Did anybody, the next thing on the agenda is status reports. Did anybody kind of think about what we would ask for if we requested status reports? Mayor Nichols, are you still there?
I am.
So at our last meeting, one thing that we, Mr. Miller Novak suggested that we just request some kind of just status report from fire department, police department, and maybe public works, or just about like what, just kind of what's going on. And maybe if we just request certain information, they can just kind of easily send that to us.
Okay. One of the things that I'm currently trying to, we talked about it last week and then a little bit today, is for each department head to give like and reference a calendar of events, of things that have taken place, will take place for future reference, or things that they're working on. Is that similar to what you're looking for? Or are you looking for things similar to what Ms. Zorb read from the fire from the website today?
I don't know. What does everybody think? Because it was just something that we were talking about. So we had just kind of asked all the members to kind of think about what information, just maybe not necessarily I don't want to micromanage or, just maybe major things that have occurred, like the fire that occurred on Sterling, that would be included. Just COVID numbers being up, that might be included. Just general information that might be important. With regard to the police department, I would love to know, like, if there's any like major crimes or major anything. Mr. Mosby is really good, I think, about sending council emails about that. But, just something saying, this is kind of what's going on. I don't know.
So it's more like
Almost like
events.
I was gonna, yeah. I think she said current events. Is that? Sorry, I stepped on you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
More like the events. I mean, those are more like, that is a status report, similar to what you're looking for from the police department, like
Right.
the things that, okay. So not necessarily what's coming up, what's planned, what street project you're looking for. It was a tire laying in front of Walgreens today. Something like that.
No.
See, I think I would kind of like to see a combination of the two, a little bit
Okay.
of past highlights, present, what do we look like, the snapshot of today, and then what are the future plans? I like to see the whole past, present, and future kind of thing. Is that,
Okay.
would that be too involved? I don't know. I don't know if that's too much to ask for. But then again, I'm only asking for the 30,000 foot level. I'm not asking for.
I won't say that it's a lot, but I think what I hear you both saying, one wants like a detail of similar to what I said, what happened, what's happening, what's going to happen. And one wants like the major things that are happening, a fire on such and so. It sounds like, Ms. Underwood, what you want is what Ms. Zorb read from the website today.
Not necessarily every run that they took, but maybe just major stuff. And just maybe a combination of the major items, as well as like if there's something they're sponsoring, just like what you just suggested, like the events or current events or something. I don't know.
So for instance, if Chief Fells writes a grant and it gets approved, or he gets the grant.
Good news, yes. Good
Okay.
news is always welcome.
And
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I would just ask that you are specific, because I know sometimes if we aren't specific, you get the wrong information, or you get not what you're exactly looking for.
Well, maybe the chiefs could send us something and we take a look at it, and it's kind of like a work in progress kind of thing, and see if it's what we're looking for, instead of saying this is exactly what we want. And maybe we kind of massage the data. It sounds bad. I don't want to say manipulate the data, but manipulate the input of what we're actually looking for.
That makes sense.
And I want to go back to, I don't think Erica's looking for the granular level of what I read off the website, but I think she's looking, like the fire was, obviously there was at least 2 jurisdictions that responded. So I would consider that a bigger event, right? And I think those are kind of the things that she's looking for, not Susie Smith got a speeding ticket, but if there's a trend in that and 35 people got a speeding ticket in this one street, then maybe that's a trend that we should know about or something, right? So if there's a trend around it, then that would be different.
Absolutely, I agree. Like if there's
Agreed.
like a lot of people running a stop sign on a particular street, then maybe that's something we would know that we need. Maybe we can kind of address.
Put a speed hump there.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think you can put a speed hump on the corner of Clovernall and Hamilton Avenue when they run that light 18 times a day. So maybe an officer sitting there, I don't
I was
know.
about to say, maybe we can
Well-
see if we can get an officer to sit there. Because
Maybe
you know,
we should plant a bug in the mayor's head and see if she can make that happen.
When I said it, I kept trying to figure out where would they sit. there's you know, private.
Even
even
it
if
out.
they're visible, even if they're just sitting there and they make people slow down and stop at the stop signs.
They
to me,
run that
that's-
light every day, especially in the morning. I have to sit and wait when I pull off so I don't get hit, because 2 or 3 cars will run it each way, both ways.
I will tell you, it's the same for me at Sundale and Hamilton.
Yeah.
My mother got
seen
hit
it
at
there as
that
well.
intersection. Yeah.
Okay, and Mayor Nichols, what intersection is that? One more time.
Clovernall and Hamilton. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did. Clover
Okay.
and Hamilton. And then Miss Zorb, you said Sundale and
Hamilton.
wow. Okay.
You notice the common denominator in there?
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do speed bump.
Yeah, but maybe we can put those like I think Ms. Zorb mentioned this before. There's a paint on the street on Hamilton further down into College Hill. There's 25s painted on the street. Maybe we can do that, like near those areas where the two of you just described, like paint the number 25, like 25 miles per hour right there on the street.
On the pavement.
The pavement. It's like, have you seen that, Mayor?
I heard someone say it in a previous meeting, but for some reason I haven't noticed it. I haven't
It's up
seen
in
it.
College Hill.
I go
Yeah,
that way every day. Where
if
is it at?
If you go down Hamilton Avenue, and then just right after you cross over North Bend on directly painted on the street, they have 25s painted on the street right there.
I feel like it's in this vicinity of that fire station up there.
So that's
Are
further
you close to
down.
that?
Yeah, I
So
think
I
so.
don't go
Like
that
it's-
far. I only go to Cedar. I don't
Okay,
go
yeah,
so
you
far.
have to go a little bit, maybe a little bit further, but I definitely know that I see it on the street on my way to work, and I go down Hamilton. And I don't know how effective it is, but I've certainly noticed the 25s on the street.
It's a reminder.
It seems like, I mean, it's something we could try. It doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal to paint those numbers on the street. I don't know what that would require, but we should be able to get that done, right?
I don't see where that would be a problem. Public Works could probably do it. Or they could. I'm sorry. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
For some reason, my computer went out. The gentleman who was with Maslow's Army when they came and did that rally that day on Betts, one of the gentlemen said that they were willing to do some painting, but he said crosswalks. I'm not sure if he would do the 25 if he offered his services for that. Maybe they could, because he said he had paint and he was willing to donate it and to do whatever, street crossings we needed. I can try to reach out to them to see, but if we want to ask Public Works first.
Okay, that's something we can do. I think maybe we'll see if that, if maybe that'll help. Reach out to Chief Schrand. Maybe even if somebody sees an officer sitting there, I know that they'll slow down because, when those deputy sheriffs sit right there at that Jiffy Lube place, people slow down when they see them on Hamilton.
The state trooper?
Yeah, the state trooper, right.
I've seen places that just take a car and park it on the side of the road.
That might work. It's a thought.
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody have any other input about the status reports?
If I would just ask if you could shoot me an email so that I can start working on it, so I can try to get what you want.
Okay.
From the different department heads.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would you like her to include the 25 mile per hour on the street in that?
Yes, anything that you want or that you're asking for, if you would include it in there.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, when I went off video, it won't let me come back. So that's why it's still off. I've clicked forever. But so yeah, anything that you wish to have, just include it in that email so I can work from that angle.
Okay.
Erica, will you be sending that, or do you need me to send it?
I can send it.
Okay.
I'll make sure I'll just copy everybody on that email. And if I miss something, please feel free to just respond to all and so that the mayor knows kind of what we're looking for in those status reports. That way I just didn't like I wasn't trying to be mean, but I didn't like all the pictures and everything that we got in the last one.
It was kind of elementary. I don't need fluff.
Me either.
I just need to know.
Information, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So could you also include how many times? I think if you said monthly or bi-weekly or.
Monthly is fine.
Okay.
But I'll include that. Okay. Just the only thing I have under new business is Resolution 17-2020. It was read at the council meeting. I'm only bringing it up just to make sure that we're complying with our own rules. It looks fine to me. Is there anything that anybody else has about Resolution 17-2020?
Can you refresh my memory?
It is a resolution requesting the county auditor to make advance payment of taxes. I think that's the one.
Oh, that's what we just talked about.
I think. No, that's not right. No, that's not right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's not right. Hold on.
Back up.
I've got too much stuff going on right here. Hold on. Let's see. 17-2020 is the road levy one, the street levy. Renewal of the street levy. Does everybody remember? Yes?
I do remember, but I thought that got put into finance. Did that?
No. The one that got put into finance was the part, something about apartments or for something, garbage, something. It wasn't this one.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? This one was, we had to do, because it was an emergency. It's time sensitive. But I just wanted to make sure we're following the rules. I just want to kind of mention it and then just send it right back out. That's all. That's why it's here. It says, declaring it a necessity to levy a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation and requesting the county auditor to certify to matters in connection therewith and declaring an emergency. That's what 17-2020 is. So my understanding is that that's the renewal for the street levy. Does everybody have that?
Yeah.
Yes. I still question the word renewal. And I know Ron said that he talked to them, but if it expires in December and there's nothing on the books, and then we vote on this in May, I don't understand how that's a renewal.
If they provide something from the county with whom he spoke with. Would that not clear your mind, but relieve your thought process?
It absolutely would. I would genuinely appreciate that. Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around something
Yeah,
that
I'll be
expires
honest,
for 5 months and then you call it a renewal.
At first I did too as well. And then after he talked to them and then explained what their conversation was with it and how, since it's still paid out in this year, if it's voted on, then it's paid up until that time. So I'll just ask him, because me trying to explain it the way he explained it wouldn't make any sense. So I'll just have him get something from them.
It may
Okay.
have something to do with that because we pay our taxes in arrears. So,
Mhm.
but it's still not, I don't know. I mean, it clearly says even in the resolution, it clearly says it expires on December 31st, 2020. And that a new levy is in the best interest of the city of North College Hill. So it's conflicting.
Yeah. So I'll have him get something from them.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. That was the only question I had about that, about 17. I don't know if anybody else does.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about it?
Actually, I might have another kind of more of a procedural question. And I'm sorry, Beth, if I just cut you off. But because this is expiring, maybe we need to put some type of process in place to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. That
Maybe
we have more of
a tickle system.
yes.
Okay.
And I don't know what that looks like, but I feel like we need something, because this was only asked. We were in a finance committee talking about a whole different potential park levy, and it was just while we were spitballing, and I sent off a quick email. And I don't know would it have been caught otherwise. So I feel like we need something in place. That's all I'm
Ms.
saying.
Hall has already started what you're asking for just for our purposes, because, you know, that was not an easy mistake or what have you. So she already has the levies written out, their term, when they expire, and they're on her radar. They're only 4, and so she has the dates and everything already. I'm not sure if you guys were on that email or not, but
well, we saw during our committee meeting, I had sent out an email asking for the levy expiration dates, and she sent back a report of those.
Yeah.
So it might have just, you know what, it might not have been all of council. It might have just been that committee.
Yeah. So it's already being worked on. So.
Okay. Sounds great. Okay. Okay. So I think that we've touched on it. It came through the committee like the rules require. So I think it's okay just to leave it on the council agenda so we can get through the second and third reading, or maybe we can suspend the readings and then vote on it at our next meeting so we can get it done within the time limitations. I don't know.
Options.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Any other new business?
Can I ask a question? What I would like to see, and I don't know if it needs to, I mean, I could possibly say, hey, guys, do this, but because it is public safety for health reasons, if we could possibly consider getting no littering signs. I don't know if that's something that we've had before, because even after going out Saturday, the street that I finished and around the corner, I promise you, I set the bag down, walked back up the street. Somebody had thrown lottery tickets in bottles, literally 10 minutes afterwards. And I just couldn't believe it. I don't know if, if there's something that council can do, like fines for littering. Maybe it would, if people saw those signs and if that idea was there, if we actually had an ordinance, not that somebody would police them, then you get into that. Who's gonna police the people littering?
Right.
So, I don't know.
Citizens arrest.
I just feel some kind of way.
I'm pulling out all the old stops tonight.
Telling my age. Citizens arrest, citizens arrest.
Oh, I'm glad I could tickle you with all my old shows.
I love that show.
Clearly, we watched the same shows as children.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's funny. What, Mayor Nichols, what about, how in the city of Cincinnati, they have those big green garbage cans kind of everywhere?
I would love additional garbage cans, newer looking ones. Yeah, if that would help, but I don't know. I mean, there were a couple people that were walking down the street and saw me with the garbage bag and said, "Can I put this in there?"
Yeah.
I pulled trash out of people's lawn off their bushes that line their front yards. I couldn't believe who put a bottle on somebody's yard. That's just me. I'm sorry.
Right.
I picked up
think
bags
maybe if
full
we
of
have
Wendy's
just yeah.
food. I had food smushed all over my street.
I don't know. Maybe if we put some of those public garbage cans out, of course, then that would require somebody to empty them out. But maybe it'll lessen some of the litter.
So at one time, I proposed something that would be, because you can't just have a garbage can because clearly people don't use garbage cans. So what if you made some kind of game out of it and you put like a backboard to it, right?
Okay.
And you make it like a basketball net. I don't know. Try to be creative about, or goalpost for, football. So just try to make it more encouraging to throw your garbage in the proper location instead of just on the street. And then there is always the people who would miss and it would be on the ground anyhow, but at least it'd be close to the garbage can.
Right.
Instead of just randomly everywhere. I don't know. Just
that's a good idea.
Tossing out ideas.
That's pretty cool.
If it's nothing we can do, then there's nothing we can do. I just thought it would,
I think the no littering signs as well as the garbage cans, I think those are both good ideas. I don't know how we make that happen, but because I was serious about the tire. There was a tire today in front of Walgreens on the Galbraith side. I literally could not believe it.
How do you not know you lost a tire?
Who put it? It was done. I don't know. I can't even.
Somebody just put it there, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of weird. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's a great idea. So I guess I'll call that an action item.
Are you still in the meeting?
Okay. Any other new business?
I do not.
Okay. Mr. Miller Novak, Ms. Hartman,
Yeah.
any other new business?
No.
Okay. Mayor Nichols, anything else?
Can you guys just make sure that I get a link to the committee of the whole?
Yes, I will. Yes.
Actually, I'm sitting here staring at it. I'm going to send it out as soon as we're done here.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes people get too many invites in their mailbox, so I try to hold back on that when they're back to back. Sorry.
I only been getting council meeting links.
So do you want a link to every committee meeting?
I try to come to them when I can, if I don't have anything else. Yes, like I couldn't come to the one earlier today. I had another meeting. So when I went to get on this one, I didn't have one. So especially finance, all of them, if I can get there, I'll come.
Okay. I made a spreadsheet and sent it to ICRC. I'll check it to make sure, to see which boxes I have checked for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. All right, well, if that is all we have, then I will declare that our meeting is officially adjourned, and I will get the meeting minutes to everyone as soon as possible. Thank you all for attending. Have a wonderful evening.
Great
You too.
meeting,
Thank
Erica.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.